All right, ladies and gentlemen, so today we're going to be taking a look at equations that are written in standard form, and I have to get them into slope-intercept form. And remember that slope-intercept is y equals mx plus b. That's the form we're going to be talking about. Standard form, this is from the second part of the chapter, is when x and y are on the same side. So I need to go through some steps because I have to be able to get it into slope-intercept form to find the slope and the y-intercept so that I could graph it. Okay, so first thing that I have to do is I'm going to cancel the x term to the other side. Now, if it's already over there, then you don't have to worry about that. But we're going to kind of go through the steps and do an example at the same time. So here I have 9x minus 3y equals 15. So I need to cancel this 9x, and I have to put it on the other side. And we're always going to look at what's in front of it to see is it a positive or a negative. So the 9x is a positive, which means I have to subtract it. If you want to draw your line through your equal sign, like when we were solving equations, that's perfectly okay as well. Because what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So those are going to cancel. So we're going to bring down the y term, bring down y, and rewrite the other side. So that means I want to keep the x first. So I'm going to do negative 9x plus 15. And it's a plus because the 15 is positive. Then we're going to cancel the coefficient of y. Well, that means I have to divide by negative 3. But what I have to do is that I have to divide each thing by negative 3. So be sure to divide all parts. Okay, so that means negative 9x has to be divided by 3, and 15 has to be divided by negative 3. So these are going to cancel. We're left with y. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is positive 3, and we keep the x. 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5, so we write it as a minus. So now it's in the form that we had, and what I can do then is now I can identify the slope and the y-intercept. Slope, y-intercept. Because the y-intercept is the b. So I'm going to write it out. Slope is 3, and I'm going to write it as a fraction. Y-intercept, which is b, and I'm going to write that as a point, 0, negative 5. Okay, let's try another one. So here I have 5x plus 9y equals 6. So like before, if you want to draw a line, you can. I'm going to subtract the 5x. I'm subtracting because it's a positive. I'm going to bring down the y term, 9y, and then I'm just going to rewrite this, negative 5x plus 6. Now I have to cancel the coefficient, so I'm going to divide by 9, and I have to make sure that I'm dividing each part by 9. So these are canceling, y equals. If this does not divide out evenly, you're going to keep it as a fraction. Do not turn it into a decimal. So this is going to be negative 5/9 x. Plus 6/9 can actually be reduced to 2/3. So if you can reduce it, but otherwise keep them as fractions, not decimals. I'm going to put up here, no decimals. Okay, my slope, negative 5/9. Right, that comes from the coefficient of x. My y-intercept, which is b, is 0, 2/3. Which would mean it's not going to be real easy to graph, but that's where it would end up. All right, let's try another one. There we go. All right, so this time the x is already on the other side, so I don't have to worry about that. But I do have to get rid of the 7. So I'm going to divide everything by 7, and I'm going to do all 3 pieces. So y, 14 divided by 7 is 2. 21 divided by 7 is, well, negative 21 divided by 7 is negative 3, so we write that as a subtraction. My slope 2 over 1. My y-intercept, 0, negative 3. So this is where I begin the graph. I begin the graph at negative 3. So I'm going to start over here because this one wants me to graph it. My slope is telling me they're both positive, which means I'm going up and I'm going to the right. So I'm going to count up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and you want to put, right, this is pretty easy, you want to put as many as you can on here, and if you're doing it on a paper copy, I want you to grab a straight edge, which is a ruler, and make sure that you connect them. Nice and big, arrows at the end, and then you label it with your original equation. So back up to what the problem was, 7y equals 14x minus 21. Okay, let's try another. See how we do. So 3x plus 4y equals 8. So this time I do have to get rid of the x term. So I'm going to subtract 3x. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Bring down the y term, 4y. Rewrite, negative 3x plus 8 because 8 is a positive. I have to get rid of the coefficient, so I have to divide, and I'm going to make sure that I divide all 3 pieces by 4 in this case. So y equals negative 3/4 cannot be divided evenly, so we're going to just rewrite it. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So my slope, negative 3 over 4. My y-intercept, 0, 2. So since this is a negative, it means I have to go down and to the right. And if you want to put those arrows so that you remember, please do that. So here's where I begin the graph, 0, 2. I'm going to go down 3 and over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down 3 over, oop, don't have enough room. So I can reverse it. Remember, we've talked about this. So I can go up 3 over 4 so that I have another point. There should still be a nice straight line. We make it bigger, we put arrows, and we label. 3x plus 4y equals 8. All right, a group of friends are on a road trip. So far, they have driven 120 miles. They continue their trip and drive at a constant rate of 50 miles per hour. Let y represent the total distance traveled in x hours. So remember, this is your unit rate, which means this is your slope. This is your beginning, which means it's your, I don't think I spelled beginning right. Oh my, we're just going to stop that. This is my B. This is where I'm beginning. Okay, so y equals 50x plus 120. Unit rate is your slope, and where you're beginning, how much you start with, is your y-intercept. Identify the slope and y-intercept. So slope is 50 over 1. Y-intercept is 0, 120. What do these numbers represent? So again, this is your unit rate, or your speed in this case. And this is the number of miles already driven. Okay, graph the equation. So we're starting at 0, 120. And we're going up 50. These are counting by tens, which makes it a little bit easier. So we're going to go up 10, 20, 30, 40. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 over 1. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 over 2. Okay, so, right, not a proportional relationship because it's not going through the origin, but it is still a nice straight line. Could any other line represent this situation? For example, could a line through point 0, 120 with a slope of 75 represent? No, because it's a different slope. Okay, I think that's it. Excellent. So, knowing your steps, taking your time, working neatly is going to definitely help you be successful with this. Any questions? Bring them to class and have a good night.